What is up, fellas? Welcome to a quick rant, if you will, just about some drama that has occurred in the Total War community. Not really specifically Rome Total War, but two YouTubers that have covered Rome Total War and kind of continue on and off to cover Rome Total War. And you might have heard of this YouTuber, especially if you watch this channel, right? It's Legend of Total War. And it's no surprise that I really base a lot of my content, personality, and play style with his aggressiveness, from Legend. I've been watching Legend for over a decade at this point. I always loved his no shits given attitude, right? Of just really being himself, not afraid to share his opinion, and he's been a controversial figure, in the past, right? And also, Pixelated Apollo on the flip side of this. Now, for those of you out of the loop about what is going on, essentially there's been some debate recently about if people should try to, get and promote a, remastered for Medieval 2. And I personally am quite indifferent. I didn't really grow up on Medieval 2, right? Not really a game that I played a whole lot of, maybe like 10 or so hours, right? I grew up on Rome Total War and Shogun 2, but if I were to have an opinion on this matter, it would probably be on the side of Pixelated Apollo, because if you look at what happened to the Rome Total War remaster, I'm not a fan. And I know some people are, and that's great, that's awesome, but I just don't like the change to the UI. I don't understand why that was changed, because that was one of Rome's strengths, right? Of using its user interface and its battle mechanics, right? But why you would change a game's strength doesn't make any sense in a remastered. Like, all you had to do was just change the graphics, man. Like, the graphics look amazing in remastered for Rome Total War, right? So of course I'm just a bit skeptical about if that's how remastered shaped out with Rome Total War, that would maybe be the same thing for Medieval 2 remastered, right? Now, who knows if that's actually the case, but I wouldn't necessarily promote a game for remastered of Medieval 2. Legend is of the opinion that, yeah, it's a game that he loves. He would like this, remastered. Pixelated Apollo is more so on that side of being a skeptic and, not wanting CA to, make this game to make more money, right? Which, I mean, yeah, sure, you have your own opinion, right? You're entitled to it, fine. But the way he went about it is really, I don't understand it, and it's bad. It's a really bad look at Pixelated Apollo. And basically he took Legend's videos and edited them to make Legend seem like he was saying certain things that, it's going to make a CA a shit ton of money, like he was some corporate pig, and basically called Legend a shill. It's like, Legend is the last person I would call a shill. This guy, like I said, has been controversial in the past. He is always the first to voice his opinions about CA and, give them criticism for their games that have been shit, because they have been pretty shit as of late. I mean, starting back with Empire's release, right? He's always the first guy to go at CA. I mean, he's been in multiple debates with the developers about this. He's been basically blacklisted by CA. How would you call someone who's been blacklisted by CA, the games that he literally plays for a living, a shill? It makes no goddamn sense. And something that he also did, and this is where it's wow, Legend actually had to come out and say this. Pixelated Apollo put in his videos to try to prove his point, Legend of Total War, and then an LGBT flag on the same frame. Why you did that, Pixelated Apollo, I have no fucking clue. That was just so unneeded and so unnecessary. I don't understand it in the slightest. And apparently there's been some rumors, and this is rumors, take it with a grain of salt, of Pixelated Apollo, following these alt-right people on Twitter, And hey, maybe this shows as to who he really is, but we're not going to get into the politics too much of it. But Legend was like, yeah, dude, I'm pro-LGBT. Why this is even put in the video to prove his point. Like, he was trying to, like, adhere to his audience, I guess, Pixelated Apollo. But, like, what? What? You're trying to promote a game. Are you trying to say that he's, like, some LGBT corporate, like, fucker? Like, I don't understand the angle on it, like, at all. And why as well, this is also what was mind-boggling to me, is they've known each other for decades, and they both have a crazy amount of followers. Why you didn't have like some constructive debate, right, just between one another about this, maybe in like a podcast or something, like whatever it might be, about whether or not to have like the promotion for a remaster for Medieval 2, I do not know. Why Pixelated Apollo felt the need to take the angle of like never personally messaging to a Legend about this type of thing, and just going right into him and manipulating his content to your point of view, mind-boggling. I mean, I've been watching Pixelated Apollo as well for a pretty long time. I don't really get into him too much. It was only like because of Legend, right? But I remember doing like, or watching a hot seat of Legend and Pixelated Apollo way back in the day. This is like over a decade ago, probably. In that, actually, Pixelated Apollo and Legend actually made an alliance together. Ill-advised on Pixelated Apollo's part, because Legend proceeded to just, you know, kill the world. That's beside the point. They've been, you know, making content for a decade of Rome Total War and Medieval 2 together. Like, I don't understand why he all of a sudden just made this flip. Like, this seemingly weird choice. And I totally understand the response Legend had to make, right? If it was some bullshit YouTuber like myself, right, who has literally no followers, like, yeah, you can just ignore it. But when your reputation is now at stake, you have to have some sort of response, right? And I'm sure it sucked for Legend to make that video, considering he's been, you know, friends with Pixelated Apollo for quite a long time at this point, too. And it's really, now it asks the question of who Pixelated Apollo like really is. Like, does one person or one incident like really, you know, dictate who you are as a person? Can people change? You get into like some philosophical debates here. But with things like this, it's like, why would you make this decision to kind of blow it up the way you did, right? It makes very little sense to me. And yeah, start to ask yourself, who is Pixelated Apollo and how did he get this many followers? Like, looking at his content, I haven't looked at it too much, right? But he doesn't really have like very skillful gameplay in the sense that like as like good as Legend is, right? It's not on the same level at all. There's a lot of collabs, there's a lot of commentary. Like, he's not even playing, he like commentates with the people. It's like, all right, how the fuck did you gain this many subscribers just doing this content? And yeah, he's been in the game for a long time, and that's a big reason of it, but I don't understand how people like this can gain so many followers. It's just frustrating. This is more of a personal rant now. Maybe this is my insecurity coming out, because like I said, no one knows who the fuck I am, right? But, Legend is likable and relatable, right? He talks about like shit that's going on as well, and I try to do the same thing. Like, it's fun having conversations about not just Rome Total War, but just life in general, all philosophical bullshit, like about like who to be, you know, as a person, and it's fun, you know, interacting with you guys in the comments, right? That's, I feel like, what Legend does as well, and I just don't see that from Pixelated Apollo at all. Like, there's none of that like, oh, I'm a human too type of deal. It's just like, it's very like by the booky, if that makes sense. And it's super frustrating because I feel like people like Legend deserve way more recognition than people and creators like Pixelated Apollo. Not trying to, you know, say Pixelated Apollo is like a bad person or just like makes bad content. I just dislike, this is my personal opinion, I just dislike his form of content, right? To each their own. It's just frustrating to see that, right? Because I think Legend deserves all the recognition that he gets, but regardless, that was just more of a rant to the state of the world and just like what it takes to be popular. Like, it's all about clicks now. It's all about you know, thumbnails and making creative content, right? It's not about being a person, being a human, and I don't know, making relatable content. Be like, oh shit, I really like this guy's personality, right? Yeah, so that's that. And I'm sure Pixelated Apollo will apologize. I'm sure this will blow over eventually. As of posting this video, he has yet to make a response. But I don't think Pixelated Apollo can ignore this, right? Legend is a massive YouTuber. He gets like double the amount of views at this point than Pixelated Apollo. He's got to apologize, and I think he will, because I mean, as of right now, I think he lost like 3,000 subscribers over the course of one day already, right? So we'll see what ends up happening with this situation. I won't really make another video about it. I just wanted to get this rant out of the way, in particular about the situation. It's ridiculous how people get this popular. It's just confusing to me how they get this popular and like do shit like this. It's like, I don't understand it in the slightest, man. I really don't. It's very frustrating that as someone who has been watching Legend for so long and enjoying his content, have him, you know, go through this, because he's made controversial videos in the past. Like, I think he mentioned in his, you know, response video, like back in the day he did this campaign where like if anything crazy happened, like he would have like this sound play that did like Allah Akbar. Like, it was really bad. It was, you know, probably too far, right? He should not have done what he did there, because it's at some point you got to be like, all right, how funny really is this? Am I just trying to get a quick laugh, right? And I'm a fan of dark humor. I know Legend is too, but you know, at some point, like I said, you gotta draw a line to be like, is this really worth it? Like, how offensive really is this? Because maybe some people got a kick out of it, but some people, I mean, it's like, okay, like this isn't really that funny. Doesn't make much sense to have this type of content out, right? And here's the thing, Legend apologized for that, right? He realized his fuck up. He took the videos down. He apologized to his viewers. Not the person he wanted to be, right? And when you make videos, you're putting this out in the public. You're putting it out in the open, right? You have to take responsibility for your actions when shit like this happens. And Legend, I respect him for doing that, has apologized and owned up, right? He's had the self-awareness and the self-reflection to realize that, yeah, I fucked up, okay? And I hope Pixelated Apollo does the same thing, right? I really hope he does. It's like I said, man, it's like, how do you have this following and come out with a video like that? Like, it's, I don't know, man. Why people subscribe to people like Pixelated Apollo? It's like, to each their own. People are gonna like their own content, right? I don't know, but gonna transition here to kind of finish out the video about the state of rometotalwar and its YouTube scene. Now, it's not very good. It's a very, very old game. There's not many people that are covering it like religiously, other than like maybe Melkor here and there. He's probably the biggest one that constantly covers it, because people like Legend will do a video here and there with Saving Your Disaster. I mean, the Spiffing Brit makes a video like once every 2 years. You know, you got Lionheart, you got Pixelated Apollo, of course, doing content on this game here and there, right? But that's not their main focus. That's not their main coverage. They have other games that they can rely on and get most of their audience from, right? Which is understandable, like why you would focus fully on rometotalwar. Like, there's not a whole lot of people, you know, that like this game at this point. So, and I've seen people that have, you know, gotten into the scene of rometotalwar. Their gameplay, man, and they can be somewhat entertaining, but their gameplay, it's like, why are you making the decisions that you're making? It's very frustrating to see, and I just, it's tough, man. There needs to be some other YouTuber that is skillful than Legend, right? And teach people how to get better at this game. Excuse me. And I hope that this channel will kind of continue to do that, and that's what the focus is going to be. Playing on very hard, focusing on how to get better, right? And have more successful campaigns, right? And of course, it's not everyone's cup of tea, right? I totally understand that. But hopefully you guys will continue watching. I appreciate all the support you guys have had in the past. And it's going to continue doing my thing, right? It's low effort content, right? I'm well aware of that. Maybe I'm a hypocrite for criticizing Pixelated Apollo's content when mine isn't, too much more creative than his, right? Arguably less creative. But, I know I'm good at the game and I have the skill to go ahead and cover this game. And hopefully you guys will enjoy that type of content. And I will always love to go on rants about bullshit that's happening in life and just having stupid conversations, right, with myself, because it's fun. It's what I enjoy. So, yeah, that's really gonna do it for this video in particular. I do hope, like I said, that other people will decide to create more content about Rome Total War, because I do think, like I said, this game needs more in the scene with Rome Total War. But yeah. Thank you so much for watching, guys. As always, don't subscribe. I'll see you guys for the next one. Later.